Welcome to the TheNoDedication PodCast, where Carl,
Yeah.
Jordan,
Hola.
and I, Christopher, discuss random topics generated by a handy bot on Discord.
Okay.
For topic number 1, we'll be covering, do vegetables feel pain when you bite into them?
Sorry. It's
topic.
great. Okay.
Do they?
I don't know. Well, does a vegetable have a conscience?
Well, I don't. For me, when you bite into them, not necessarily. I don't think they do, because you already took them off their plant, so technically, or took them out of the ground because vegetables are a plant. So they're already dead, technically, wouldn't you say? And that's why they start to rot if you leave them out for too long, right?
So it's like if you pluck a fish out of water.
And then you leave it in the water for
Does
a while,
that-
and then you
it's
bite
like-
into the fish.
Yeah, it's like once you bite into the fish, it's already dead, isn't it?
Does that mean that at one point the vegetable could feel when it was in the ground?
Yeah, so like when you ripped it out of the ground, that's when it felt the
What I'm saying is
pain.
that if I were to leave it in the ground and then bite it, it would feel pain.
Maybe. And I guess if you left it attached to something in the ground, yes, I guess.
So stomping on a farmland is like the equivalent to a massacre.
We're not even talking about mowing the grass.
Oh crap.
Oh, I once heard this thing where the smell of freshly mowed grass is the grass that's already died telling its brothers to look out.
Okay.
My gosh.
That's gonna cast a horrible image that I really want to animate.
Just grass, just in a war zone.
So weekly, I'm like a god that just comes and murders an entire civilization in my front yard.
Yes.
Keep them in check.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
But like,
You can't-
yeah, I think I don't know, but also like, we're talking just vegetables, so just like carrots and stuff like that. And actual,
Like broccoli.
that's the actual plant itself,
Broccoli,
because that's what a
cabbage,
vegetable
lettuce.
is. Yeah. So
Wait, so the vegetable itself has feelings. So, oh wait, no, vegetables.
then, like, what about fruits? Because fruits come off of plants. Vegetables are the plant. So
Aren't
if you eat
would a
fruits
fruit
technically
like
Technically, they're
like
still
that?
alive.
Asking if a fruit could feel would be more like asking like if a flower could feel, wouldn't it? Like
I
essentially,
guess, aren't fruits essentially like the fetus of the tree?
kind of, yeah, because they grow new trees
Oh,
or
that's
whatever,
funny.
or
Imagine
plants.
eating the fetus of the tree.
Holy crap! You're eating
This is getting really bad.
tree babies.
Alright.
Oh God.
Welcome to episode 1 of the podcast.
We put ourselves in a very bad situation we can't get out
All right, run the topic commands. Let's go.
of.
Wait, what? We have other.
No,
How about?
I'm running a topic.
What was?
Okay, that's a stupid topic.
Yeah, that's
What
why I stopped running that and I started doing other stuff.
What are some things you shouldn't say during a marriage proposal?
If you don't say yes, I'm going to the next one. If you don't say yes, I have to be somewhere at 5:30.
Hurry up, say yes. My wife needs me. We have a date. That's bad. All right, fine. Chris, pick one of the. Either do a topic command or run.
Wait, hang on. Please say yes. I hired a cameraman.
No, that's terrible.
Okay, wait. Run another command.
Run a command or pick one of the topics that are on the list of
Wait.
topics.
Wait, what color hair is listed on the driver's license of a bald man?
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Technically, we're still children.
Yeah, it started out I wanted to be like a police officer, and then like a singer, and now an
Be a
astronaut.
singer?
Yeah, it's at like one point in like 4th grade.
I was the kid who always liked like the sciencey stuff.
Science.
Yeah, I'm
Like
wasn't me.
astronaut and like zoologist were always like my top picks.
For me is that as a child, really wanted to be a scientist for like a really long time, and then I found out you had to work really hard, and I was like, oh, that's more fun. And I was like, you know what's more fun? Firemen and police. And now I'm a fireman or a police officer or a peace officer. Excuse me.
Yeah. All
I
right,
wanna
so going off of what you just said, what do you want to be like now, Jordan?
now.
Yeah.
A pilot, so that I can be an astronaut, but mainly just a pilot, and also an engineer, sort of.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, currently I'm looking at architecture
Mhm.
because it pays well enough that like you could support a family. One and two, I like the idea of pursuing an artistic job, but a lot of like design jobs, like character design for stuff, it's really hard to get into, and it doesn't pay well unless you're like the head of a company.
Yeah.
So it just architect sounds like the best way to use my skills, have fun, and still like make a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you there.
Yeah.
Jordan, what is your next topic?
How? No. I don't.
Should I run something through the bot?
Yeah, run one through the box.
Okay.
No,
What is one weird thing about you?
We need philosophical questions.
What is one weird thing about you?
All right, here. I work. No.
The bot has spoken.
The bot has spoken. All
Yeah.
right, okay. What is
The
one
almighty
thing-
bot.
I don't know. I haven't thought about this. Here,
Oh, I have one for myself.
here's a
In
question.
like, oh, okay, go ahead.
So, if you won the lottery, would you quit your job? Why or why not?
No.
Let's say you won $50 million. $50 million.
Depends on what job I had.
Yeah, that's true.
If
Yeah,
I had a
but
job that I was making like a decent amount of money and it was really good, then I wouldn't quit.
Mm-hmm.
Had like a dead end nowhere job, or yeah, I'd quit and go find a new job.
Yeah, like if you were a McDonald's worker, and you somehow won the lottery, $50 million.
Because all I'm saying is, if you have all the money in the world, you have all the resources in the world. That means that there's like some job that maybe it didn't pay well or you couldn't get into it before. Because you have so much money, you can pursue whatever job you want because you can either pay for the education for it, or you have enough money that you can fall back on something like smaller without having to worry about money.
That is true. Yeah, that's true. You could just essentially just pay for your own education again, so you can get a better
Yeah.
job with it.
So unless it's a dream,
Oh, we can go right into the next topic of: would you rather have a job that pays very little or a job you hate that pays a great deal of money?
I personally would have a job I hate but pays me a lot is because eventually I'd have enough experience in that job title to where eventually I could either ask for a promotion or go higher for a different company where they see all of my experience and hopefully that I love it. Because I think a job paying too little won't get you as far as you hope it would.
that's true.
But you love the little job, though. I
You
mean,
absolutely love it, but but the little job you can't expand because it doesn't give you. It may or may not give you the experiences you need or that you want.
Yeah, kind of going off of what I was saying with the architecture stuff, I feel like if you have, and that's not saying that I'd hate architecture, I'm just saying the thing about it is if you do a job that pays well when you're like old, or not even old, when you're like middle-aged or something, you could always like, once you have enough money, you could just fall back on like your little thing that you want to do and just enjoy that later on. So like do the hard job, make the money, and then once you have enough money to fall back on, just do whatever,
but like, is money really happiness? Like, I
You
mean,
cannot buy happiness. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm
but like, people say that, but like, could you ever be happy without any money, though?
That's true. If you have no money, you can't really do anything.
Like, if money can't buy your happiness, but then also, if you're broke, how can you be happy if you're having so much problems in life?
Yeah.
I mean, I think to an extent you could. I mean, I know that there's been like monks to different faiths in the past that have like lived off of begging and they were like completely content just preaching. But that's like a spiritual thing. I guess like for like a normal person who's just like going about their life, that's I think you kind of need money to make it. Well, because money is survival, and without survival, how are you able to pursue what makes you happy?
Yes.
That's
Well,
how it is nowadays.
Then again, people have made money into survival. That like if you were to go off into some place that like no one really ruled yet, money wouldn't be survival anymore because there'd be no need for, it would have no value.
That's true, but like then again, some people can't live without society nowadays. They need social interaction.
Well, yeah.
So,
Basically, money is just a more advanced version of the trading system.
it is.
Huh.
If you think about it.
Dang, yeah, that got philosophical.
Like,
I guess that's kind of the point of this podcast if it actually becomes a thing.
yeah.
That yeah, money. It depends on what your situation is with money.
Yeah, actually, that's a really interesting point you make there. I guess both of you kind of made the point, but like, but I always ask, is money buy happiness? We don't ever like think about the fact that money wasn't always a thing. I mean, it's a pretty primal like concept, but at the same time, like it doesn't have to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, all I can think of is the Quakers and how they didn't have.
Yeah, I've heard about the Quakers, and honestly, it sounds like a pretty good deal. It's like communism that actually worked, to an extent.
So here's a topic I want to discuss:
I was gonna say we should veer away before I go on a rant.
I want to talk about is there such thing as luck?
Okay, I have one after this too.
All right.
Okay, luck.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I think like you make your own thing. I don't think that there's an actual thing that can like determine whether or not you're doing like you're gonna get. Actually, no. Let me take that back. I do think there is, because probability sort of determines your luck. Because like if you do something enough times and you get bad luck on it, then you're statistically getting luckier. Because there's enough chance, there's a better chance of you getting the good thing if you've gotten the bad thing so many times.
Like that game. It's like that current game with the stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Every time you move that stuffed animal, luck increases of you getting it.
Like, I don't think it's like how people view it though.
No,
I think
view it as like a mystical force that helps them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was going to say that luck is something along the lines of like a mystical idea that ties to something that's more true. Kind of like how humors, although like obviously the body isn't just 4 different fluids running through us.
Yeah.
They kind of create the fundamentals for things. I was going to say luck is like that, but for probability. But at the same time, I don't really think it is, because like what you guys seem to be implying, and I guess what kind of luck kind of implies, is that there's like almost like a point system in the background, and the more points you get, the more likely you are to get more points, essentially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing like I do believe in God, you know, I believe in like a force behind everything, but at the same time, I don't really think there's like a karma system, you know? I don't think there's something that's just constantly like monitoring and pushing what goes up and what goes down for people.
Well, yeah, that's not like what I was saying, though. Like, there doesn't even have to be a point system like running in background, like counting whether you did good here or bad here, and then if you did good times, you have to do bad here. Like, just in general, nothing has to be counting, but statistically, if you do something so many times, you're likely to get a different outcome the next time if you have done something the same way every time. It's not, you can't like statistic, it doesn't work like that, I don't think.
Yeah, okay.
Like, not like that there's someone counting the points off in the mystical distance in the background and saying, oh, he has to do something bad now because they did good the last 100 times. I think it's that's just how life works, is that you can't be doing something good always or always being bad at something. It's always back and forth, depending on how you did before.
Eventually, if messes up or does something good, you know, there's no such thing as like truly. Take that back. There can be truly evil people out there.
Hitler was a person. He was very evil.
But you know, it's like some people just have bad luck for their entire lives, and maybe they get like a sprinkle of good luck, and their life turns around from there.
All right. So what's our conclusion on this one?
The way people view it, I think no. I don't really think it exists the way people actually view it.
Yeah,
I think it's just statistics and probability. You are more likely to do something different this time or have a different outcome, but it doesn't always mean that the outcome will be different. It's just probability says it might be.
All right.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you're saying, yeah, it's like you know the saying, "Lady Luck is on your side." People have
Yeah.
transformed luck into a sense that luck is something that's not good with you right now. Eventually, it'll turn around.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of not. It depends. You make your own luck. You know.
Yeah. You make your own based on your actions and like your outcome.
Yeah.
And
That's essentially what it is.
Okay, what is the biggest life change you've gone through?
Ooh. That's actually kind of easy for me. There's two of them. First one being when I was 4 and I had my eye surgery. That really changed my life.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
And then my second one being is when I moved to Haiti for 11 months and got to see what a third world country is like, and I got to experience firsthand how life is different from you perceive how if you're living in a middle class or a higher class society, you get to see how the quote unquote lower class, I'm not saying there is kind of not, but you get to see how some of those people live throughout their lives and how the struggle is extremely hard for them either to make a living just to support a family. I got to experience that firsthand when I went to Haiti, and I think that was probably a big change in my life, that I actually really do respect people now who have pushed themselves so hard to work up to what they have so that they can enjoy all the good stuff in life that they dreamed as a child.
Dang, I feel bad now. You got like this. That's like a big thing, you know? I was going to say, like, I feel like big life changes. I feel like as far as like growth has gone, just quarantine, just, you know, being with my thoughts, I guess, has really kind of changed me.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
that has changed me a bit, but not in the way like people, like normal people would. I feel like I've come out of my shell more because of being alone. All of this, I don't know why. Like, I feel like I've, like how some people would regress in and then become like all into it and stuff. I feel like I've done the opposite, and I've started to become more forward with myself and like not care as much about like having everything to be like fit perfect before I actually say something or do something, and now I just do more than I did before ever.
Huh.
And I think that I've been sort of progressing for that in these last few years. Of I realized like these mistakes that I've made just these last few years of my life have been changing me. Like, and this has been like a big step in a different direction. Like, I've been more forward with myself, more forward in speaking and my thoughts and everything a lot more these last few months. And I think everything in these past like 2 years have been pushing me to do that. And now I'm doing it. But as for like life altering stuff, it's like, it's hard for me to explain because like there's no one moment for me that I can truly remember and point out as like, that's what changed me to want to do this. But there's like these things that have happened that have altered my point of view, that have made me think, oh, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to make humanity better as a whole, or I want to change the world, make it so that it's more peaceful and that there's less arguments. There's no one moment that made me want to do that. It's just a ton of different things that have happened throughout my life that have made me think.
So essentially the past 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe my Haiti experience. It took 11 months for me to realize, holy crap, life ain't so pretty.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And I learned that at like 11.
I thought you were like 7.
No, wait. Yeah, no.
It was third grade, whatever third grade was.
My brother was around that age. I was like 10 or 9. So that was a big thing to see at such a young age, is to see how life really is in some countries.
Yeah, dude, that's insane.
So that was a big life change for me. That was a good topic. I like that topic.
Like, yeah, I don't think that one moment can really change your life all that much completely. I think that there has to be a series of events, or like you have to like have something, like a prolonged thing that happens to you.
Hold on, there
has to like
near-death experiences. Like if you die from a drug overdose, some people change their lives right there. They go, holy crap, I can't do this anymore. I guess.
Well, I'd say like if you're sitting there and like somebody important to you, I'm okay. I guess it sounds like every super story,
Yeah.
but like if you're there and like a family member gets shot before your eyes or something because of like, what's a good example? Into the Spider-Verse, his uncle was like, his uncle got into crime, and that resulted in him getting shot, essentially, right?
Mhm.
So like it's that kind of thing, like seeing somebody else like close to you like get punished or killed ultimately in some way because of their actions. Like I'd say that could.
But like even then, there were other factors I think that were pushing them to do something, and that was just like the tipping.
Patiently.
Yeah. If like since our minds are made up of particles and atoms that behave in a probabilistically in a way like it's statistically this way or that way, then how do we think that we have free will?
Ooh.
No, I thought it intrigued me.
Free will is described by the people. That can relate back to how some people believe that going out, it's free will is entirely up to what you think. Some people think that living on their own is free will. Some people think that living in the city is on their own free will and that they enjoy this. Free will is a thing that a person makes up in their own mind.
So it's a boundary set by the mind itself.
But was it?
Exactly.
But were those decisions actually free will, or were they a combination of things happening to you that changed like the chemicals in the atoms in your brain so that probability said you're going to make that decision and you made that decision?
That's why.
Are you actually choosing to make that decision, or is everything else making you choose that?
That's why the human mind is one of the most complicated things on the planet, is that we truly don't understand it. Sometimes it's our own free will that maybe we could technically choose to go do that. Some people, I know a couple people who on their own free will gave up, not on purpose, on their own free will, gave up their city life and went out to go live in the countryside because they thought it would be better, and they're living happily now.
But
other people who I personally met, they gave up their life to live in Haiti to experience what it's like to have a free will. Because so to say that the government, I'm not getting into
but was that their free will, or were there other things that made them do that?
They described it to my parents, and they described it to me as they wanted to experience, kind of like how my family did. They wanted to.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with like? I think it's kind of like drifting away from the question.
This topic's kind of hard for me. So to say,
I'd say
I don't experience much. I don't know much. I'm just thinking that some people can choose, some people can't.
But
Some
like,
people have the mind to have that. Some people have forced options, or that push them in that direction.
that's not really what I was talking about, though. It wasn't that like whether or not you have the option to choose. It was, does anybody really choose something, or is there something that is making us choose that? Are we really free will, or is it positioned to where?
And if our conscience is thinking, and there's nothing else.
But is there nothing else? Is there like, how do we, like, if our brains are made up of particles that don't have free will, then how do we have free will out of that?
So what you're saying is that our particles in our brain don't have free will, but how do we make them have free will? Is that your
Then how do we think about having free will if what makes up of us doesn't have a free will? Is what I'm saying. Is like, when I think, like, if I were to get up and just leave right now, is that me making that decision? Or is that something telling me to do that, and it wasn't really me that freely made that decision?
So
it was something else that made that for me.
Is sending messages to our body that isn't really free will. Is that what you're saying?
Like, it's not us deciding. It's just happening. It's just like
the brain is a parasite, basically.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying that the brain is choosing decisions for us to do them. That's kind of what you're saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, we are our brain.
Exactly.
It's our own free will. Our brain is
but
our brain. It's not your brain. It's not another person's brain. It's our brain.
I'm not saying that our brain is making decisions for us. I'm
Our
saying,
brain does
how
make
do we
decisions
make
for us.
decisions? And
By
if we make
in
and
our conscious mind, our brain makes the decisions. That's why we have a brain.
but does it really though? Like
What?
Dude,
how?
it's like you're talking about the fifth dimension. It's a concept we physically can't grasp.
Like okay, so if
Or even the
if
fourth
someone
dimension. I don't know why I
comes from
skipped
the
to five.
future, like let me lay it out like this: if someone comes from the future and tells you that wait, no, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
No, okay, never mind. Wait, let me redo this. Okay, so if your friend walks up to you and says, does something, like it doesn't matter, and like gives you a ticket, and you go, "Why'd you give this to me?" And they say, "Because you told me to," and you're like, "But I haven't done that yet." Do you now have a choice of whether or not you give them that ticket and tell them to give it to you, or are you now forced to do that because it technically already happened?
What? But it didn't.
Do you
happen.
have the
just said
free
it didn't-
will?
You just said it didn't happen though.
No, it didn't already happen yet because you're doing it in the future. You came back from the future. You gave your friend something and told them, "Give this to me." And then your friend gave that to you and you asked them why, and they said, "Because you told me to." So now do you have the free will to choose whether or not to do that still? Or are you now forced to do that because it already happened?
Okay, that brings in a question called fate, and that's
Exactly.
that's something. Yeah, that brings in fate.
That's what free will is all about. Do we have a fate? Or are we choosing to do all this? Or are we destined to do that decision now because it already happened? Or do we still have the choice?
That's
Do we
beyond
really have the free
that's
will, or
beyond
do
our
we not?
conscience, man.
That's a convoluted topic.
I think about this all the time. What are you talking? This is philosophy.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I think we should push that topic off
We-
to the side.
We're gonna be looping the same conversation for the next hour
Yeah,
if
so
we keep
let's-
this up.
That's what.
Let's.
This is what philosophers talk about for years of their life. This is
small-time YouTube channel that literally is just starting.
well, like this. I also forgot to mention I do want to be a philosopher. Like
I've
in
gotta
the
figure that
whole
out.
future things. I forgot to mention that. That is
Yeah,
one
no,
of my
I think
things.
you writing notes on how different dimensions work, I think, was a good indicator of that.
me
Okay,
trying to figure out. I like these conversations. Do you like to sing out loud when no one's around?
No, I'm skipping that one. What's your favorite
Whoa,
thing about
is it
winter?
winter? Snow. I like the snow.
We don't get snow.
Well, in the mountains we do.
Yeah, that's true. I've only seen snow like twice in my life.
And also, every 10 years it snows down here. So in 4 years, it's going to snow again,
Yeah.
statistically, I guess.
Holy crap, it's been 6 years?
Yeah, it has.
Jeez.
It's been a long time. Here's a good question: is it more important to be a leader or a follower?
Leader? I get.
Good leaders follow the examples of the past.
I think it's important to lead yourself because otherwise you're just a sheep.
Okay.
Don't be the sheep.
It's
Be the
it's a
herder
convoluted
or whatever.
topic, but same thing as it's good to be a leader for your own ideals. You can push for your own ideals, but let's say
Okay, be the leader of your own life, but you can follow other people. Just don't follow them to the point to where if they do something bad, you're still following them.
yeah, there you go. That's a good way to describe it. Don't be a follower who screws himself up to where he can't be a leader. You know.
Is anybody ever truly a leader?
Okay, that's a good question. Nowadays, it's hard to be a leader since a lot of stuff has been thought of already. You know,
Well, no, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like every leader. I mean, I guess there's some examples of people who just randomly spawn like an idea that came out of nowhere, but like every leader typically has some role model or something that they've followed upon.
Mm-hmm.
So every leader has technically followed somebody else. Like many famous philosophers got their like main mindset from a philosopher before.
That's the same thing with music. A lot of people saw this person making music and thought, hey, their music's good. I want to do something like them. So they were a follower who turned themselves into a leader. You could say that like a follower who loved the music so much that he became a leader for his own music. Maybe?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's like eventually some followers become strong enough to become a leader. You know?
Yeah.
But that still puts in the point of like it's more important to be a leader than, doesn't it?
More important. Well, that's the thing is you can be a good follower to become a leader, who then promotes more followers to become more leaders. So it's like you can be both. You know, you can be one thing that becomes another thing, or one thing that becomes another thing.
Okay, so for this topic, can I put out the conclusion? I mean, I'm gonna see if you guys agree with this. So, what is it? There is such thing as leaders, but like, that's not even the conclusion to the topic. But basically, what I was going to say is, like, there is such thing as a leader, but all leaders were at one point a follower.
Yeah, that's like it essentially is all leaders were a follower that were all followers eventually become a leader if they push themselves towards it. Something like that.
So I'd say they're equally as important.
Yeah, they're
because you need leaders to make followers to become leaders, essentially.
Followers to make leaders.
Yeah.
Without one or the other, the cycle fails. You
okay.
can't have a team full of leaders if they're all just gonna bicker and argue about their topics. You know, you need some followers to even out the score, or you can't have a thing full of followers because eventually, or they'll all just agree on one idea, and it could fail. One leader is gonna eventually a follower will rise himself up to be a leader. You know, that's kind of like how it works.
I think say anything too political, but that what you said I actually really like about how once everybody's followers, the problem is there's no new ideas being introduced. I think that really reflects the modern landscape of like thought.
Mm-hmm. There's so many followers. It's hard to see a leader.
Yeah.
That was also very philosophical.
Should a vegetarian eat animal crackers?
Yeah, I mean it may have the name animal in it, but it's like made unless it's like has meat in it, you know.
Does it? Do we know how animal crackers are manufactured?
I don't know.
This is making me want animal crackers now, but you know. And I'm a pescatarian, so should I eat those animal crackers?
Yes.
Can you eat Swedish fish?
Yeah, well, I can eat fish,
shoot. Yeah, sorry.
Here's the thing. Swedish fish, like a lot of candies nowadays are actually made out of pig fat.
Well, I mean, in a way they are, but not. I mean, I don't think that's truly like.
Jordan, are you vegan to the point of not eating meat, or are you like vegan in the sense of like you don't even eat honey and you don't drink milk?
I'm just pescatarian, so just red meat basically and poultry.
That's a good question.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're not like religiously pescatarian.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, in a sense, I don't break my rules. But like
that
I'm
sense.
not like I don't care if you eat meat, you know? Like if you eat meat it's fine, or like if milk is fine, I don't care. Or like how you brought up the fact that some gummy stuff is made out of pig, it's not really pig, so I'll eat it anyways. I don't care.
So you're not like a certain girl from our elementary school years who would yell at me during lunch in 5th grade for eating bacon.
Yes, I'm not like that at all. I don't care if you eat meat. You go eat all the chicken and beef you want, Chris, to your heart's content.
That's also a new thing nowadays. Is like veganism is following now because like a lot of people. There are truly people out there who are vegan, and I'm glad for them. Like, do you?
Like,
I don't care.
What is your point?
Vegan, but like, some people do veganism now just for like the popularity.
Yeah, a lot of people do it because they're like, "Hey, look, I'm vegan. I'm so healthy.
Yeah,
you should follow me because I'm vegan."
But the thing is, veganism isn't necessarily healthy.
Yeah,
you have to if you're gonna be vegan.
You have to like, really do it right.
You have to eat a lot more.
You have to eat
like because you have to eat the right things.
Twice more like amount of food a day, something like that. Because a plant-based diet, yes, it's really good for you, but it doesn't provide the amount of minerals that you need. So you need to eat more.
Yeah, it's just like skinny doesn't mean healthy. Ripped doesn't mean strong. You actually have to have like the stuff necessary to have like real muscle or like a real thin body in order to like actually be healthy. Because there's plenty of people
that just woke up.
Yeah, do we want to? I'm thinking we can let him in. Do you like, right?
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
We may have
And for our
another-
first guest, Vincent
Yeah, we
K.
can introduce
Price.
him as like our second, our fourth co-host who woke up late is Vincent.
Technically, he's supposed to be main cast, but he might become a special guest considering how like late he wakes up and how like often he forgets plans.
That's fine too. So
I'm hungry.
after the vegan, how about this? Right when the like towards the end of veganism thing, I'll kind of cut it off to where like it's making sense. Like right after you, Jordan, and you, Chris, speak, and then I'll add in the part where Vincent comes in.
Okay, dude, this episode's gonna have so many people stuttering and like random cuts, but then again, this is experimental, so
It's
not a big deal.
Or we could just not cut out like anything and just be like, it's just there. You know?
I don't want anybody to hear me walking out into the room where all the children are screaming, and then proceeding to
cut the baby crying. Don't worry.
and then proceeding to scold my brother for yelling through my door after I told him we were recording something.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But we can continue the conversation with Vincent joins, which is fine.
Because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of podcasts are just people don't cut; they just talk for an hour and then upload it.
Yeah,
Flat
that's
like that.
I'll
Yeah,
cut the
I don't know.
like,
We're
like,
high.
loud noises are happening in the background.
Well, yeah.
So.
We got production value
Okay, so
of the $20 in my Chase account.
is it true that
Actually, I think it's more than that, but still, okay.
is it true
What
that
were you
5 out of 4 people have trouble with fractions?
I hate fractions. Yes.
You said 5 out of 4.
Exactly.
I don't like this topic.
Wait, so that would be 1.25.
It's over 100%.
I don't like this.
Bum
topic.
bum bum bum.
I don't like this topic. Here, let's do this one.
Since women don't think facial hair is attractive, why don't they shave off their eyebrows? I'm sorry. What do you fear most? I don't know. I fear fear.
Dude, I have like a weird thing for like ghosts and stuff. Like supernatural stuff scares me the most, which is really irrational, but it is. Like, yeah, like I'd be more scared of like say
Okay, but
like if there's a movie
eventually.
where somebody gets possessed versus a movie where it's just like a murderer, the one where the person gets possessed would scare me more.
Vincent, introduce yourself. We're currently recording.
I'm Vincent, and I'm a human.
Hey, that's my line.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Vincent.
Just one in the background.
So Chris, but what really is supernatural? What really is supernatural, though?
I mean, that's kind of based off of what your beliefs are, but I do believe in like to an extent. Like I think that like what is it, exorcisms that have happened or things like hauntings to houses. I think, you know, sometimes it's full of baloney, but I think there have been real cases where it's been a real thing.
Actually,
But, like-
I believe you with that. I think some cases have been real, some have been made up. I think there have actual been cases.
See, but I think-
of actual hauntings. Some things are just unexplainable.
Not really, though. It's unexplainable if you don't have the information for it. Like air currents or random changes in pressure, they do occur naturally.
They do.
So, and it can cause stuff to move without someone moving it because the pressure changed, and so that color changed, or the
So you're
pressure,
saying-
or the air current moved. So then that cup flew across the room, stuff happens naturally that we can't explain, that cause us to think that it is supernatural.
Yeah, I got you.
So, like,
Well, okay.
for me, unless I see, like, an actual ghost that's, like, a real thing, that's not, like, a reflection or a random, like, mirage, if I see a real ghost, that's when I'll believe that they exist. But for right now, I think it's just stuff that people don't think that they can explain, but it actually is explainable. They just don't know that it is. That's my belief, is that ghosts aren't actual ghosts. They're just things occurring, and then people are processing them with a pattern that isn't actually a pattern.
Yeah.
Like, what's that effect called? Like, where people see patterns and stuff that's not really there.
Oh, it's called the I know.
I was gonna say-
About.
I was gonna say Mandela, but that's not right.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
what I
you're
was
talking about.
thinking too.
Yeah. So Yeah.
That's what I think ghosts are to people. Like when people go, I heard contact with my ancestor when I asked out for them, they answered back. I think it's just people associating stuff that shouldn't be associated with.
So
And it's just random stuff occurring at the right time
yeah.
that shouldn't be
Okay.
associated
To grow on the
with what
topic.
they're talking about.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's funny because like a lot of like Christians nowadays say stuff about like we can't believe in evolution, we can't believe in this, we can't believe in the Big Bang. It's like that's completely false in a lot of ways. For example, like the Catholic Church says you can in fact like interpret the certain parts of the Bible like it as like an interpretation, not like an actual like physically what happened. And so in a lot of ways, I think the concept of even if you don't like believe in like the Christian God necessarily, I think you could point out that like if there is like a supernatural type of existence, who says that can't like work side by side with reality? For example, like the creation story in the Bible, if you look at the order of when things were created, you'll notice that they actually coincide quite a bit with the actual like order that scientists believe in, or how like things came into being. So like the order of things like earth, sea, like fish, animals, like the order that they come into being is very similar to the natural order that scientists believe earth came into existence from.
Yeah.
So like it's like divine coincidence, or no, not divine coincidence, but like a divine kind of like direction, I guess.
See, I think that humans shouldn't put all their faith into a Bible or the book that like was made thousands of years ago, that by people just telling stories based off of what they saw. And like, I mean, I get that some people think like, I get that it was like created in a sense of where like it was written by followers who were there, who saw what happened, and God was telling them what to do. But like, I think that it's an old book and that like we should change and adapt and become something newer and better based off of what we know now as compared to what we knew thousands of years ago. You know? Like
I have a very
downgrade your beliefs and stuff. I'm just saying that like you can upgrade and you can
Let's be careful.
I'm saying
personal like ideologies though, what I think is like modern day, we can't throw away what used to be.
that's
Like,
not what
you have to keep some remnants of the past in order to better the future.
like what I'm saying is more like we should take like not like completely leave it behind, but we should take what we know now and put it into that and then leave out the stuff that makes absolutely no sense in today's world.
What makes absolutely no sense is a very objective thing.
Yeah, like I said, let's be careful when we approach this topic. Okay.
Like I'm not talking about like
Yeah. No,
getting rid of religion. That's not what I mean.
You're talking about.
I mean like I like the stuff that like if it's a proven like it's a proven.
Really far from what do you fear most?
Well, we started talking. Well,
That was the
Chris
subject
mentioned
for this?
Supernatural, so I got into Supernatural.
I'm gonna go to what I
Isn't
fear
that-
most.
Wait, I forgot that was the subject.
That was the subject.
Well, I mean, isn't that the point of like podcasts? You start with a thing and then you morph conversation.
Yeah,
into-
no, it's good. It's good.
It's good, yeah. But I think to illustrate what I fear most is, I don't know why, but it's more of a thing. It's not like I love it. It's like heights. I don't necessarily fear it, but whenever I get near an edge, I feel like if I were to jump, what would it be like? Does anybody?
Well, but that's like, I think fear of heights is a weird fear. I think the only case where fear of heights is something that like I think could genuinely be considered like a true fear would be like if you have like consistent thoughts about it. Because the thing is, fear of heights is like
it's a
it's not like an instinct, because nobody wants to jump off like a 60-foot cliff into like dirt,
but like
because you know you're going to die.
Some people, and I'm gonna put myself. Some people have the feeling that if I were to jump off this edge, what would it be like? I don't know why, but whenever I get near an edge or something, it's not really clear. It's not.
I think about that.
It's not suicidal tendencies. It's like
Yeah, I
what
think
would it feel like?
I know what you mean. Like, what is the jump like, or like, what is like, what would it? Would you feel the landing, or would you already like just
Exactly.
pass?
It's like,
You know,
what would it be like to jump?
like I get what you mean there, and that's where I don't fear heights. I fear
tree.
falling.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
I don't fear the height itself. Like, I can stand up on a tall surface and be like, wow, this is amazing. I love it up here. It's the fall and it's the landing. I fear the landing
That's a good
and
way
the
to describe
falling.
it. It's more or less of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's not a fear of the thing that leads to it. It's the fear of the death itself, like the cause.
Yeah. And that's
I could stand on
one
a
of
cliff, no problem. It's just the thoughts in my head when I'm doing there is what happens if I were to move forward and just jump, you know?
and like that leads into like my one. Some people say this is like not like realistic or whatever, but like my fear is death. Like, because a lot of people, they're like really sure of like what happens after death, like you go to heaven or hell or you do this or that, but I don't necessarily completely commit myself to that, so I don't know what happens to me. So that's where my fear comes in, is like my fear is like, what if it's just a game over screen and everything goes static and you're like that for eternity? Like, that would suck.
Okay, listen, I've had like sleepless nights thinking about that kind of stuff, but the final conclusion that's always kind of gone into my head is, okay, so like, I believe in heaven. Like, it's something that I very like boldly believe in. But I have, I obviously have thoughts. I get like nights where I just feel
Where
really
it's like,
scared thinking about
what if, you know?
about it. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what if it's
And
something?
the kind of conclusion I come to is, like, first of all, most religions, like, even if it was a different religion's ending, most religions seem to say that basically if you are a good person, eventually in the cycle you'll get to a good place. There's that. And then if it's like a void type thing, there's no reason to panic about it, because it's way beyond your control. Like, it sure would be scary, but you're not going to stop it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like, what I like sort of justify it as is like, I should live my life
To the full.
now to as much as I like. A lot of like, I've seen a lot of atheists, as they talk about this, is they don't dwell on what happens afterwards. They just like to live their life as if that's the only thing they have. And I like to live like that.
That's what I'm gonna say. I am an atheist. I do believe there's some stuff out there that hints towards it. I'm just
so you're like agnostic. You don't believe in anything in particular, but you do believe in something beyond what is physically there.
Exactly. There's something out there. There has to be. We can't just be. I think that when we die, I think same thing. It's like the void, but you keep all your memories, and that you just kind of play them over and over again.
That seems
I don't know.
almost like torture.
No, but no. You're happy. No, it's not the sad ones. It's only the good ones.
But like, still over and over and over for eternity, that seems like eventually it would become torture.
I don't know. It's just like you live
And
your
wouldn't
life
it also be
before,
sad
you
because
don't
the good
think
ones
about
are gone?
death until it's at your door.
It's like riding It's a Small World in circles.
Yeah, essentially. But yeah, you like for me it's
That's hell.
yeah. For me it's essentially I'm not really scared of death. I'm only gonna think about death when I'm either close to it or it's at my front door. I'm not scared.
Like-
of death
Interesting
until it happens.
Interesting fact. No matter what they like, obviously, if somebody's like being strangled to death or something, they're going to like be terrified and stuff. But in most cases where people just die naturally, it's actually like a calm thing, and most of the time they're smiling in the final
Yeah.
few seconds.
That's like with
Yeah, because it's like you've sort of let go in the last few seconds, and you're like, whatever happens, happens.
That's the same thing with if you die of hypothermia. A lot of people say that before you die of hypothermia, you get one last sense of warmth before you die.
Yeah. But yet, there's no way to know unless you die.
You never know, but like you see a lot of people who have died of hypothermia have actually taken off all their clothes. Is because either their cold is irritating them and they got to get it off, or nobody knows that a lot of people like what they say is that the warm overwhelms them, and that they just
Like,
they shed
what
their clothes,
what I currently like. I mean, I get that last feeling of like it doesn't
Joyous.
mean
Yeah.
like it's not bad. It's something to be accepted once it's there, you know. But like what I currently believe is like after it is like to keep me, you know, from being awake all night and going, what the hell happens?
Yeah.
That's like how my brain works. Is like I need to figure out what happens. Otherwise, I'm going to think about it constantly, and that's why I want to be a philosopher. Is like they try and work out those heavy problems of like they think about those things, those ethical situations and whatnot, and that's what I like to do. And what I currently think happens is since I believe in like matter can neither be created nor destroyed.
Yeah.
So I think after you die, your molecules dissipate and you become like one with the stars, and you sort of like you get to like live. Not like you don't live. You're neither conscious nor unconscious. You're just happy and it's beautiful and you're just there.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of, Vincent, do you have any?
You become one with nature and you just sort of start. Your molecules, you know, you dissipate and you're like that star. Like how we came from stars. Like
the circle of life in a sort of, you know.
yeah. Sort of like we came from the stars, like because that's what our molecules are from. So then when we die and our molecules dissipate, that's where we go back to.
Yeah,
That's what I like to think. Because like scientifically it sort of makes sense. And like...
You know, I got you. Vincent, do you have any
Okay.
or anything on this one?
Not really.
Okay.
That's fair.
I
Okay,
got you.
something much lighter, but also a good segue out of the topic of death. What are some things you should not say at a funeral?
Selfie.
Oh, wait, I saw there was this one thing. What should you not say? What was it? No, wait. There was this thing of like this guy popping up like this dance music and stuff, and then it had a picture of the other people at my grandma's funeral, and like they were all like, it's like just like.
I saw this one Snapchat, and this girl swapped faces with her dead grandma with that one filter.
That's one way to do it.
That's horrible.
That's one way
So
to do it.
bad.
It's actually messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, our generation is kind of screwed up when it comes to stuff like that.
How about coffin dance was cooler?
Let's do another topic. I think that was a pretty light topic to segue.
Or should you not?
into that.
I wish it was you. Yeah, don't say that.
Oh,
There's the age-old joke of old people saying you're next at weddings, and then the kid saying you're next. But that's like like-
you're next.
that's like-
to the grandma or something like that.
Yeah.
Facebook mom memes from like
Oh, yeah,
2006. Those are old. Was Facebook around in 2006? I'm thinking of taking back what I was saying.
2007. Here, let me check it out.
Alright.
Facebook.
No, wasn't it like earlier than that? Yeah.
Oh,
I was
geez.
about to say. I was like, it's the old person's thing. Wasn't it more than that?
2004. That's what I was thinking.
Date of my birth. Apparently, I came out at the wrong time.
I know, right?
I mean, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl released like 2 years later,
Yeah.
though. So you know,
So, okay.
the good and the bad.
Here's a good topic to go into. Is it ever okay to tell a secret?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
for the right person. Well, wait, is it your secret?
It's another person's. Here, let's do this. So let's do
Ooh.
one. Let's do one. It's the first one's your secret. The second one is another person's secret.
Okay, if it's your secret, then yes, it's okay to tell someone you trust.
Yeah.
If it's another person's secret, though, I think there are certain scenarios where yes, it is okay. Like if it's a secret about them that is like would be harmful to them,
Yeah.
then you can tell someone to try and help them.
I think
And even if they end up hating you in the end, you still tried to do what you thought was best
that
in the
relates to,
situation.
I like how you're-
like the law. You know, like if someone breaks the law and they tell you, you want to tell somebody. You know, you a lot of people it doesn't sit.
Well, it
with them
depends
in your-
whether they. It
what
depends
they do.
which law they break and how they break it and how they win about when it
Let's
happened.
say they-
Well,
like,
somebody-
rob
like what
somebody.
if?
Let's say they robbed somebody. You know, like they just took somebody's purse. They're running by they were driving by on a bike and they snatched somebody's purse and took off. If they were to confide in you, I would tell somebody. I would be like, hey, I'm not gonna say who, but I know somebody who's something bad, and is there any way I can help them? You know?
But like, it depends. If they did that on purpose and then when they told you about it, they were like, "Hey, I did this amazing thing. I robbed someone." Then yeah, I'd tell someone to be like, "Dude, you're sick."
yeah.
and like.
But
But if they were like confessing about it, like, oh my god, I didn't mean to do this. I'm so sad. I'm so sorry. I don't want to. And like they confess to me, I'd like try and console them, and then try and find a way to like make it better. I wouldn't. I wouldn't like turn them in that situation. But then it also depends on the crime. Like how bad was it? How bad was the thing that they did?
It really depends on if you think of a kleptomaniac, they steal in their subconscious. They don't do it on purpose. Well, some of them. They take stuff.
Sounds like a good excuse.
You know, and like if you knew somebody that was a maniac and they took something without them knowing, and you see them doing it, you would tell them. Obviously, you'd be like, "Hey, you took that."
Well, that's not a secret at that point.
But like for me,
that's
yeah.
telling them what they don't know.
Yeah, you got that there. Well, it's like their secret, though. You know, it's like they're
Isn't that your secret at that point? Because they don't know.
True. Yeah, that's a yeah. Well, then yeah, it's a secret that you gotta. Yeah, I got you.
Bum 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 bum. Yes.
Yeah, okay. It depends on the situation. You know, it's just like, is it okay to say it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next topic. Can I
Yeah, go
sign
ahead.
it?
Vincent, do you want to choose a topic?
Nah. I'll wait for the next one.
All right.
Okay. T topic. What drink do you usually order with your food? I can't wait to see if this spawns a random philosophy thing.
I will forever and will always be a Pepsi fan.
I'm a root beer person.
Root beer, I like root beer too, but I love Pepsi. I don't like Coca-Cola. I like Pepsi.
Lemonade.
Oh.
Lemonade's not a bad choice.
Me over here. Lemonade.
Lemonade! Pink lemonade!
Jack Daniels.
Jack, I ordered Jack Daniels. It just makes me think of someone in the South just like, I ordered Jack Daniels for every meal.
I'm actually just taking some of the topics from like the giant list of ones we have up by Jordan.
Ooh, which is easier, to love or to be loved?
To be loved.
I can't stop people loving me, you know?
All right.
I can't stop the love. Chris, what are you saying here?
I think it's actually to love somebody because you could love a person and without them knowing it. You know?
I mean, but then if they don't know it, doesn't that hurt? Is it really that easy?
That's what all love is, though. I mean, a lot of love is finding the right person through a series of tests. You know, it's a multiple choice test that you either mark A, B, C, or D.
I don't view love like that, but okay. It's not how it's not what I think love is. I don't think it's just a multiple choice quiz.
My head yelling, B, B, B.
Is this the one for you? Is this not the one?
Ooh.
Is she perfect?
Wait, why did we skip this topic, Q? Have you ever peed in the shower?
Because it's not important?
Yes.
All the time.
Often.
I got 3 letters for you. Y-E-S.
Is that not like a normal thing?
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't it? I thought it was normal.
You used the toilet.
But
it's just when it goes down the drain.
Okay, better question. Do you poop in?
No.
No. What the heck?
What? Yeah, it is a challenge. You gotta shoot for the stars.
Better question.
Alright.
Oh god.
Do you ever think computers will take over the world?
No.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I honestly think it's gonna be like a balance.
Ooh, I have a good one. To piggyback off of that one. Do computers do they have real thought? Or is it just their programming?
Not at this point. They don't have real thought.
Computers?
But what about the person who's considered a human, the Sophia or?
Oh, the Sophia.
That's
that has like a Bulgaria passport or something, whatever it is.
They're literally class.
Okay, I get that
they have human rights.
I get that they do have like some extent of like a really smart AI, but at the same time, that's more of a publicity stunt than anything.
Yeah.
And
I mean.
Even if it's an artificial intelligence, it comes down to what the people crafted it to be. It can't make its own rules.
So you think that if it's
it wouldn't have 3 thought. It's hard to create.
Oh no, this is gonna loop back.
It's
the earlier conversation.
Damn free will.
Mwahaha, I did this on purpose. I'm joking.
It was fated to happen. One can call it Jordan's luck.
Fated to have.
So does that mean it wasn't our free will that made us go back to this topic? So wait, but like here's my question. So if you code a computer to do something,
Yeah.
and then the computer does that, is it the computer that thought all that up and did it itself, or is it your code?
Well,
Your code.
how can
Beat the code.
the computer? Wasn't there a man who made a computer that beat the world's greatest chess player, but the
I
man
think-
who made the computer can't beat him?
Until the computer
Yeah.
begins to start
It's
breaking
kinda
its
like
own
that.
code, I think it still is our creation. Like it's our code acting.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so
Once-
what if you
once
code
the
a computer to do code?
No, that's not what I meant. What I mean is it can essentially say, okay, so
Chris, you're kind of laggy.
I'm saying writes it.
You're
Not
cutting in and
like-
out, Chris.
Chris, you're cutting
Oh
in.
crap.
You're just like, God damn it.
I think you're good now.
Okay. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was gonna say is like until it comes to the point where it is like how do I put it? So the programming can make it do actions that were like not programmed in specifically, but until it comes to the point where it can like break the rules of its own programming, I think it's not thought.
Okay.
Um.
So,
Okay,
like,
but
if it can break the rules, I think it's thought.
so
I got
Oh.
you.
what if you program an AI and you tell it to go do something and then it says no? Is that AI thinking for itself, or
Yes.
did you code it so well that the code is
If-
telling it to
if
do
you
that?
didn't
Isn't
code
that
it,
still
if
code?
you say that, then yes, the robot has a mind of its own. It's thinking that maybe I don't want to do this. You know?
Like,
It still has
oh, there's
directions.
this movie with Robin Williams called The Bicentennial Man.
Mm-hmm.
Where like his robot like learns to become a human and slowly transforms himself into a human, and at the end of the movie he gains like human rights and he's considered a person,
Huh.
and like
Yeah.
basically made the full transformation.
It's
But
a-
he started as a robot and then he sort of
It's
he became beyond what he was made to do. It was a really cool, good movie. I really liked it.
It's
Like
an
you guys should go
interesting
watch it.
topic to talk about is because we're really close to it, and
Yeah.
it's
Man, I thought robots were cool, kid. Now I'm just scared.
it's interesting, yeah, because we're really close to robots, or like to become.
We're trying to replace ourselves. We're actively trying to replace ourselves.
We have,
Like-
we're close to where robots can essentially almost think
I
by
think-
themselves and do what they want.
I think what we're more going to start heading to now is though, like with Elon Musk, like neuro stuff. I think we're going to start heading to cyborg, like combining human intelligence with AI
That's what
instead of just like making actual robot helpers.
Mhm.
I think we're going to start going into robots in our head.
That's what I was saying
like,
earlier.
we're
I
part-
think it's
we're
gonna
not
be like an
fully
equal
there.
balance, you know, there's gonna be humans,
Like-
there's gonna be robots, and there might be combinations. You know, there's an equal balance somewhere.
Maybe.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
I don't know how this would work. I can say titles without getting in trouble for copyright stuff, right?
What's up?
Yeah, I can. People talk about
it's
titles. But
publicity.
yeah, no.
It technically hasn't come out yet. It's publicity.
Okay.
So,
That's right, CD Project Red. You should pay me for this. I said the name of your game. Okay, new topic?
oh yeah.
What color hair is listed on the driver's license of a bald man?
Clear.
Void.
Clear. Void.
Clear.
NA.
It's there,
Not
you
applicable.
just can't see it.
It's NA. It's not
Mm.
applicable.
But is it really?
I mean, if he somehow miraculously
Too
grows
short to
hair
tell.
in the next 12 years, sure, he gets hair.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I actually really like this one.
Is it based off of? I mean, I guess you guys. I know what the counter question to this is going to be already, but is it based off of like eyebrow hair and other hair? And I think your response is going to be, "What if he has nothing?" But
But like,
all-
what if he does? Like, what if like his leg hair is brown? So then, would you put brown?
Yeah, but then
Well, that's actually-
black.
That's an interesting question because a lot of blonde, like redhead people, still have like
I'm blonde.
black
I have-
armpit
I
hair
have
and stuff.
Really dark leg hair. I have really dark arms. And I have really dark eyebrows. You know?
Yeah.
What?
But didn't you say your dad used to be blonde and now he has like brown?
Yeah, no, my dad used to be blonde like me, but his hair turned brown. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen to me. 'Cause my hair's gonna go more of a dirty blonde. So, here's a good question. When you go to a movie theater and the seats have armrests, which one is yours and which one is your neighbor's?
Ooh.
I think it's the right.
The general.
Is it? I
I
like
always thought it
both,
was
so I
right.
don't sit
just,
next to people.
like,
I want both. I would steal my neighbors.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's like, no. Let's say you're an adult, and there's two kids sitting next to you, and they both have their arms on both of your armrests.
Oof.
Fight them to the death.
Politely ask them to go to the other
Can I have
armrest.
my armrest back so I can put my large diet Pepsi down, or my giant Pepsi down, please?
But I think Vincent was right. Like, it's commonly accepted, isn't it, that it's on the right?
Is it?
Isn't it?
oh well,
I
okay.
thought it was
Here's
like
I
wherever your
think
cup holder is, if you choose that one.
yeah.
But
I
like,
was gonna
there's
say,
cup holders on all of them, isn't there?
Is there? I thought
I thought there
were
was.
only cup holders on the right side.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe so.
Well,
I haven't been to a movie theater in like 4 or
I-
5 months.
haven't been to a movie
Wait, but what
Yeah.
if you're the person on the far left? Do you get both?
Yeah,
Hmm.
you technically. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, because you already have a free one that's to yourself, but the one next to you, do you deserve it? Because it's technically yours, right?
I suppose.
Yeah.
But then if the person on the far left chooses the left one, and then the person next to them also chooses the left one, then does the right person get both?
Yeah.
There's always the person on the end who's like, wait a minute, which one do I think it's just, if there's someone next to you, you don't use theirs. If there's someone next to who's already sat down and their stuff is there, you use the opposite one. And if you sit down between two people and they're both using yours, you could probably ask one of them to move to the right side because it would be, on the right would be more acceptable.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what you'd do, or what I would do at least.
Mhm.
Or I'd probably just not say anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Or I think I just held my drink for most of the time because I didn't really care.
Mhm.
Actually, wait, no. Don't they have 2 armrests? Don't you have your own armrest, like, legitimately now?
I think some of them.
I know.
Like, in the middle, like,
fancy
there's
movie
2...
theaters. I know fancy ones that have like the recliner chairs and all that. And the
Yeah, but
games.
that's like
I know
that's
you
a
can use
whole.
No, but, like, even at the Edwards Theater, though, don't you have, like, you have your... And then there's, like, a double armrest where the person next to you has theirs right
But
next
then-
to
but then
yours,
you have the
too.
problem of is
And you can put
the-
2 cups there.
Then you have the problem of the cups, the 2 large sodas don't fit together because they're so damn close, and that you have one big guy who takes up both of your armrests.
Well, I mean,
What do you do there?
you're in a sucky situation
It's
there.
time. You just like, hey, get out of the way.
You can move seats or something.
Yeah. So does anybody else have any good questions? Because I have another good one that I really want to do.
I mean, I haven't really been thinking that much. No, I've
Chris,
just
you have
been
a good one?
going on the topic on hand.
Any good ones? I kind of just enjoy using the topic generator.
Yeah. I'm
See.
You want to do this one? What is the line between art and not art? What do you guys think?
Not art.
What
Is-
art and what is not art?
Guess it depends on opinion.
Mm-hmm. But
Like non-art is sort of.
you look at splash art, where basically it's just someone took a couple of paint buckets, threw it on a canvas, and said, "This is art."
Yeah, and some of them sell for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
The pinnacle of
Where's-
that is probably the one painting. I think it's in San Diego,
Picasso.
in some museum where it's like, it's literally just a canvas that's been splattered with white paint. Like the entire thing has been painted over with white paint. So it's just a canvas that's been turned into another canvas.
Wasn't there one? I feel like I've heard. I swear I've heard it. Wasn't there like a banana taped to a wall?
Oh,
Somewhere,
and it
and
was
it was
gonna
like-
sell for millions.
Yeah, because what there's like some people snuck into the art museum, taped a banana to a wall, left, and the people believed it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is art."
Yeah, there was something like that.
It's like how is that art?
Art
It's just a fruit.
art is like I mean, you don't need it to be art. Like, there is no definition of what is
Is it-
art.
art
It's
is
just
made-
something that you did that's creative.
Art is made to entertain. So essentially, if it's not made to entertain, it's not.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'd call it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Like if you don't mean for it to like entertain people or go out there and like be seen, then it's not art.
But
I'd say that's
Is that
the
what you're
best
trying
way
to
to
say?
put it, but at the same time, engineering for convenience is technically art too.
okay, here's
So
something that I saw on Internet Historian. I'm giving credit to him, or one of his friends who was podcasting on the quarantine. I'm gonna give credit to him. It was basically what if you were in an art museum, okay, and you were in a costume, they couldn't see your face, and the richest man in the world walks in, sees a painting of yourself, and says, "This is the most beautiful ape I've ever seen in the world. I'll buy it for $50 million."
An ape?
An ape, but it's
what does this have to do with the question? It's funny, but
like is that art though? You know, like it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's like it's a painting of yourself, but the guy calls it something else. You know, do you want to risk saying him? Oh no, this is something else. It's not really.
Well, I mean,
it's a different type of art.
If he's gonna sell,
So you're saying
if he's gonna
it's
buy a
not
picture of
interpreted
myself for that much, I'm selling it.
But you'd have to live with the fact that he called you an ape.
Yeah, for
So?
50 million, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
That much money, him calling. We are apes. We're primates. It's what we are.
Depends.
Chris, do you want to pop in a topic to topic?
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll put some.
Let's see what we get. We're already an hour.
What are some things you should not say during a job interview? We've gotten a lot of these. Okay. What should you not say?
Weed is pretty cool.
Not necessarily true.
I gotta
but
take this
good.
phone call.
Is it all right if I do a little side business alongside in this area? I don't know.
No, what you're supposed to is
Can I
you're
do
supposed
drugs here?
to apply for a job at
Shoot, it's my work doctor. I gotta take this.
what you're supposed to do is like if you're applying for a job at like Microsoft or Apple, like say you're like applying for a job at Microsoft, and then you're like, oh shoot, hang on, my acquaintance from Apple just called.
My acquaintance from Apple.
I'm a convicted
Yeah,
felon.
I got you there.
Vincent, I'm a the way you said that is just I'm a convicted felon.
Dude,
With
but-
like no emotion
Do we
behind
have
it.
like a amount of time that we're trying to record? It's been, I think,
We're already
Technically, we could.
13
We're already
minutes.
good. We don't really have to keep
14
going.
minutes. We can
I think we should plug the. I think we should plug the bot just to like support who made it.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll put the titles of the questions whenever a new one comes up. So I'll just put the title of it, so then I know what's.
No, I'm saying it's like the bot itself. We should like.
I'll plug in the bot to the description.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, but I can also do is I whenever a new topic comes up, I can do a title of the topic so they know what we're talking about. If I missed it.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to the
Yeah.
first episode of the Zero Dedication or No Dedication podcast.
I actually.
This is-
Wait, we're actually calling it that?
Sure, why not?
For now, I
I
mean,
thought-
the name could change.
okay.
I really do enjoy
I
this
thought-
podcast though. I think it's a good.